Munetaka Murakami is a White Sox. I still can't believe I can actually say that sentence. We are going to dive into Murakami and who he is and who he may be in Major League Baseball with Yuri Karasawa on today's show here on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Welcome into the CHGO White Sox podcast, coming to you live from Studio West of our CHGO offices here in the West Loop of Chicago. I'm your host, Sean Anderson. Alongside me today, my producer, Joey Christopoulos.
Good to see you, Sean.
Oh, great to be seen, Joey. We are mourning the Chicago Bears loss, but I won't get into the weeds of it because I could probably talk about it for 10 minutes. So I booked a guest, all right? We're just tabling the Bears because we have to get to our guest right away. Founder of Yaku Cosmopolitan. You can head over to his website, yakucosmo.com. Yuri Karasawa, and I loved that you wrote this on your website, Yuri, who brings a modernized approach to Japanese baseball. You've been a great source of data for Murakami, so very excited to have you join the show. How are you today in sunny Japan?
Yeah, I'm doing great, Sean, and hopefully the Murakami talk gets Chicago fans, Bears fans on a bit of a brighter note today.
Yeah, I think White Sox fans, even the Bears loss, really can't dampen the excitement that Sox fans have for Murakami and also Colson Montgomery, Kyle Teal, etc. But the question I had for you when we were in the conversations in DMs was, what was Japan's thoughts on the White Sox before signing Murakami? They haven't signed a Japanese player since Tadahito Iguchi, and he was obviously a great part of the 2005 team World Series success. But outside of that, Japan really has been a market that the Sox have delved into. Do you see a lot of White Sox hats around Japan, at least now?
Yeah, I think the casual fan, the average fan in Japan, didn't really have many thoughts on the White Sox at all. You see a lot of, Chicago White Sox hats, mostly from like a fashion perspective. Like if I just walk into a random New Era type shop, like you're going to see White Sox caps there just because people think the logo is cool. But I don't think your average fan in Japan really thought much of the White Sox or even knew about them. Your real diehard baseball fans certainly did, but because of how few Japanese players they've had over the years, it really just has not been a market on the radar for Japanese fans. But it is really interesting, of course, that for Tokyo Yakult Swallows fans, they have Shingo Takatsu, who just ended up leaving as manager, but he was basically there for the entire Murakami tenure. And he was, along with Tadahito Iguchi, the first Japanese player in franchise history. So just a really interesting connection there between the Swallows and the White Sox.
Yeah, did you find it peculiar that he ends up signing with his manager's former team, and then also Amai signs with his former manager's team's Matsui's former team? Was that just a weird coincidence, or do you think there's a little bit more to that?
I definitely think there's an element of, asking around and being like, hey, this is a franchise that you obviously played for. Let me know about the city. And we saw this last year a little bit with Roki Sasaki. Like a lot of people were shocked, like, oh my God, Roki Sasaki was in meetings with the White Sox. But yeah, I mean, his former manager was Tadahito Iguchi. Tadahito Iguchi was the man who drafted him in 2019. So kind of makes sense that the White Sox would at least be a destination that he considers a little bit.
Yeah, I made a weird connection back in September, but then the more I thought about it, I just thought the White Sox weren't going to spend the money. They ended up spending the money. I think most of baseball was surprised at how less of agreement Murakami got. I think that people would have thought it would have been a longer agreement for more money. How surprised were you at 2 years, $34 million for Murakami?
It was very surprising to me. I mean, I certainly thought that the expectations early on were a little bit too high, like 150 million over, 8 years, for instance. That seemed like just too big of a commitment for a player with as much risk as Murakami, as as much upside and as much excitement as he brings, there is a certain level of risk baked into his profile as, a guy who long term is primarily going to DH more than likely, the amount of swing and miss in his game, teams not knowing how his game will translate. I thought projections that had him, Kylie McDaniel said like 80 million. That seemed about right to me, but 34 over just the 2 years, that to me says that he really wanted the prove it deal to be able to hit free agency again after 2027. But I definitely think the White Sox are among the best destinations he could have possibly chosen for this kind of deal, for a short-term deal like this in a lower pressure environment where he can really let himself flourish on a rebuilding team.
And then with Murakami, I want to understand more what he meant to NPB. I obviously, touted that he won a Triple Crown, but I don't think people understand maybe the impressive way he won the Triple Crown. Obviously, setting the home run record, but even then, I know that that's a little bit different just because of the prowess plus the 300 plus batting average. So what did that Triple Crown mean to Murakami, and how did he really make his name in that great 2022 season?
Yeah, the 2022 season really had a lot of historic achievements for many reasons beyond just Murakami. I mean, you had Yoshinobu Yamamoto doing his thing. He was right in the middle of all his Triple Crowns and Sawamura Awards. Roki Sasaki was on the rise, and he threw his perfect game. But Murakami, I mean, he really set the world on fire in terms of what he did throughout the summer months. From June to August, he batted 393 with 34 homers and an OPS over 1300. So those months in particular, the summer of 2022, this guy was just on a whole nother planet. It was, Aaron Judge and Barry Bonzian, Randy Bassian, which is, one of the best foreign players in MPB history dating back to the 80s. One of the most recent winners of the Central League Triple Crown before Murakami. So that really put him in exclusive company. And yeah, for him to be able to, not just set the Japanese-born home run record with 56, the all-time MPB single-season record being his former teammate Vladimir Ballantyne with 60, but for him to get to the Japanese-born home run record, beating the legend Sadaharu Oh, who had multiple seasons with 55, that's a huge achievement. I mean, Sadaharu Oh is quite literally the GOAT in Japan, and honestly, a guy who doesn't get enough credit in the United States just because he didn't get to spend any time in Major League Baseball. But that dude hit 868 home runs for his professional career, all with the Yomiuri Giants, and he's still a big figure in Japanese baseball now as the chairman of the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. So, yeah, I mean, Murakami just tied to so many storylines and making himself a legend at the age of 22.
Right, so young, and that's why I feel you could give a young player at 23 and 24 a little bit of grace when he doesn't reach Triple Crown achievements again in 23 and 24. And then this past year, while it wasn't a ton of games played for him, it was a ton of power in just around 60 games. How disappointing were 2023 and 2024? Did you see them as a disappointment compared to that Triple Crown year? And then 2025, was that just something that I think most people expected from Murakami as he showed more of that 2022 prowess?
Yeah, something about like the early part of 2023 is that a lot of those struggles had carried over from the end of 2022. It's easy to put that under the rug because I mean he was in the midst of a historic season, and the Swallows still made it all the way to the Japan series where they lost to Masataka Yoshida's Oryx Buffaloes. But actually, if you look at this 46 game stretch from September 2022, basically right after he hit his 55th home run to tie O's Japanese born record until April 2023. If you include the entire MPB postseason and the World Baseball Classic, he was hitting 194 with only 6 homers and a 719 OPS during that stretch. So he went from this, superhuman posting an OPS north of 1300 for a 3-4 month stretch to cutting that OPS in half. And that to me, just the sudden way that he dropped off, that signals some kind of mental block that he had. Really, as soon as he hit the 55th home run, I mean, he got to 56 on the very last day of the regular season, and that seemed to take a lot of pressure off him for a bit. But I mean, during the WBC, during the pull stage, I mean, he looked so out of whack. He was just swinging at pitches that he usually doesn't. And I think he maybe felt a sense of imposter syndrome, kind of playing alongside the likes of Otani and being like, "Hey, am I really this good?" So yeah, 2023 and 2024, just the way the strikeout rate ballooned, the way he was a little bit inconsistent in a way that he had not been prior, because 2020, 2021, 2022, he was consistently on the rise. I mean, he was quite literally getting better and better every year, and it was just like, wow, is this guy going to just continue to wow us and set records every season? That wasn't the case, but there is something to be said about the fact that he can have a down year and still hit 30 to 35 bombs. And then, this most recent year, 2025, it was disappointing from the standpoint that he couldn't, play a full season. He wanted to go out with a bang and kind of give Swallows fans kind of one last hurrah. They were a very, weak kind of losing team in the past 3 years, whereas they were stronger in 2021, 2022, making it all the way to the Japan series. So Murakami was kind of the one big thing that fans had going for them, is they get to see him on the field. But yeah, I mean, he kind of did that just in a shorter period of time, because when he came back from injury in the second half, he had this crazy good August where he looked like he was in peak form again. So I think he showed that he still has it in him to be an elite player.
You bring up that imposter syndrome, and I tried to watch like as much of the WBC at bats that I could see, and it did seem that batting behind Otani did have some pressure on him, and it's funny that you bring that up. Do you think that that's just youthfulness on his end?
It definitely could be. And I just think for a lot of Japanese players, like for him to take on the mantle of hitting cleanup for Samurai Japan, I mean, that's really big shoes to fill. Hitting cleanup in Japan, being the number 4 hitter, is just a big deal, more so than people might realize in MLB. Because obviously, if you're a cleanup hitter, I mean, it means you're really good. But in Japan, like, there really is something to hitting cleanup, both at, like, say, the high school level and the professional level. It's like, if you are tasked with cleanup, it's kind of like, you have the ace of a pitching staff, you are kind of like the ace of the lineup. That's the kind of expectations that come with it. So when he didn't deliver in the group stage, and he was, I mean, quite literally striking out almost every single AB, and then come knockout stage time, he got moved down from 4 to 5 and replaced with Masataka Yoshida, who was in better form. That took a lot of guts from Japan's manager, Hideki Kuriyama, to say to Murakami, like, we know how special you are, but this just isn't working right now, so we have to move you down in the lineup. But I think for him to battle adversity and then end up delivering in the semifinal with everything on the line, I mean, if Murakami doesn't hit that walk-off 2-run double against Mexico, then that Otani versus Trout at bat in the final doesn't happen, right? So for him to be able to get past his struggles and then eventually get that double, plus the home run in the finals against Merrill Kelly. Like, it did show that this guy has it in him, the mental kind of fortitude to bounce back from these struggles.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, it's such a huge stage at 23 years old to be put at. So I really don't blame him. And it's hopefully going to be, that's playing for your country as well, where, not in a bad way, he will be a little bit more detached from the White Sox than he is his country. So hopefully there's less pressure coming over here for him. The one question I wanted to ask you was, how do you think he will differentiate himself from other slugging first basemen? There's been comparisons to Joey Gallo, who's played obviously a ton here in Major League Baseball. There was comparisons to Luke Voit, Franmil Reyes, Tyler Austin, Tyler Nevin, some of the players that have gone from Major League Baseball to NPB. The thing that sticks out to me is just when Murakami makes contact, it's a different sort of power than any of these other players. Do you think he is different than the maybe three true outcome player that we typically see here at first base?
I think there is a world where Murakami kind of finds himself again to that 2021, 2022 form, where again, you don't win a triple crown being just a three true outcomes machine. He hit 318 in that season. And honestly, up until that slump he had in September, it was closer to 330, 340. So this guy could genuinely put the bat on the ball before. Now, if you look at like his in zone contact rates, they weren't elite even at his peak. It was around like 79, 80%. But over the past 3 years, he's been down at the worst in MPB, really. I mean, 72, 73%, and it's been pretty consistently at those levels. So I think it's much more likely that he will be a three true outcomes player, but you can't put it past him to be able to get back to that level that he had in 2022. The fact that the Swallows on the field were a bottom feeding team, they were not very good. The fact that he had already set all these records and heights, I think it can be very difficult, obviously, to try to one up yourself from that. There must be some element of this kind of fresh start for him, change of scenery, being able to kind of reignite the fire he had in him. And I wouldn't put it past him to be able to surprise some people, not in terms of like this guy's going to be some crazy contact hitter in MLB, but we're all projecting like a super high strikeout rate, 35% or so. Is it possible that he only is striking out once he gets, acclimated to the MLB environment at like a 25% clip? I think there's something to be said about like his ability to potentially adapt.
Yeah, and I think the one player that sticks out to me is, and I mean, it's not exactly 1-to-1 because Murakami does seem to be very different than his other Japanese counterparts. But Seiya Suzuki, a player that at least did have some pop in MPB, not to the levels of Murakami, but I think he was near 40 homers in his final MPB season. It does seem like, at least comparing the NPB numbers that I could find for Suzuki and Murakami, Suzuki was a little bit better against breaking balls, but Murakami was better against fastballs. And if Murakami can just adjust to that 2 mile per hour difference, maybe, or 3 mile per hour difference in the average fastball, I think we're going to see a really great season from him. Like, I'd be surprised if he doesn't hit 30 homers. What about you?
Yeah, I think 30 homers is a pretty conservative, like 50th percentile outcome for him. This guy has 40, 50 homer upside. And that's, in spite of, again, the swing and miss. Like, BatX, their projections on him is a 207 average with 34 homers and a 38% strikeout rate. That just sounds so insane because it's so extreme. It's like the most extreme player you could possibly build in a lab. But that's the kind of talent he has. And all of the other projection systems like Oopsie and Steamer, they also have him right around 30 homers with a WRC plus around the 120 mark. So again, I think the White Sox kind of got a steal here in that Murakami, if he hits his 80th or 90th percentile outcome, he is Nick Kurtz, Kyle Schwarber, Matt Olson, and worst case scenario, it's a short-term deal, and you're still going to see some absolute moonshots. He's going to put some fans in the seats, even if he struggles to put together on base percentage, which I think can be a problem. Like if he gets ambushed in the zone a little bit too much and he's not making contact, then yeah, the strikeout rate is going to be high. The average is going to be low. He really needs to have a component of walks and just having a good plate discipline, which is kind of how he built his success in Japan for all these years. Was even when he wasn't making contact and he was striking out a lot, he had a really high floor just because pitchers would pitch around him. He would walk so much, so his OBP was always close to 380. If he can do that again in MLB where he's making good at bats and he has enough protection there from a White Sox lineup that's not really that bad anymore, then yeah, you're looking at a really good all around player with a decently high OBP and obviously a ton of power.
Yeah, fingers crossed. This is absolute music to my ear. I don't want to get too excited, because I also, with it being a 2-year contract, I don't want to get too attached. Because, if he's really good in his first year, they might just trade him, and I'll be heartbroken. But at least we'll have that 1 year. Yuri, thank you so much for joining us. And if you do want to go check out yakucosmo.com, Yuri does a fantastic job running that website. His Twitter follow is also fantastic, keeping you updated on NPB, US NPB baseball news. It's a great resource. So thank you so much for your time, Yuri, and go enjoy your day in Japan. Sounds nice.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, and excited to see what Murakami can bring to Chicago.
Yeah, if it's 30 homers, I think I'll be real happy. I'll have a smile on my face. And then anything more, it's all gravy. So thank you so much, Yuri, and hopefully we'll talk to you again, maybe mid-season checkup on Murakami here.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, appreciate your time. And again, make sure you go follow Yuri at yakucosmo.com. Absolutely fantastic to have him on the program. We're going to take a break here on the CHGO White Sox podcast, and then we will come back. We'll react to the chat that's going on. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. We do have to remember a White Sox legend, Wilbur Wood, passed away this weekend. I think they announced it during the Bears game, so some people might have missed it. We will remember the legend Wilbur Wood right after this break. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. New customers now get $200 in bonus bets when you place a wager of $5. Again, that's for new customers. And whether that wager of $5 wins or loses, you get $200 to bet on bonus bets. We are approaching the kickoff of the college football game. So if you want to bet on college football, you better do it now because the final game of the year is being played. Then there's also 3 more NFL games, and then we're approaching MLB. So if you want to put some future bets, some bonus bets on some White Sox to win the AL Central, White Sox to win the World Series, you always can. Maybe you'll be a little bit more smart with your bonus bets, but the most important thing is you'll wager $5, you get $200 in bonus bets. Whether the wager of $5 wins or loses, use code CHGO365 when you sign up. Deposit $10, place a bet for $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Bonus bets can be used on spreads, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary with our friends over at Bet365. Must be 21 plus. If you or someone who has a gambling problem, crisis counseling, and referral services can be accessed by calling 1-800-GAMBLER in-app only. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Four Seasons. For all the right reasons, call 866
Four Seasons.
Way to take the low. Winter is here. It's freezing. I think we're going to step out into 0-degree weather, Joseph. Is your home's heating up for the challenge? If not, call our friends over at Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. They've been serving Chicagoland for over 50 years. If you have a plumbing emergency, call Four Seasons. If you have an electrical emergency, call Four Seasons. If you need a new hot water tank installed today,
call Four Seasons?
Exactly. Now is the time to schedule your Four Seasons furnace tune-up. If you're thinking about a whole home generator, they have you covered. At Four Seasons, they guarantee same-day installation for all your heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical, and generator needs with no extra charge for nights, weekends, or holidays. So call today and save $50 from your trusted local experts. Four Seasons Heating, Air Conditioning, Plumbing, and Electric. Sponsored by Four Seasons, your trusted local experts for heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Visit fourseasonsheatingcooling.com for all their money saving coupons. That's fourseasonsheatingcooling.com. Welcome back to the CHGO White Sox podcast. Appreciate everyone hanging out with us. Make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button. And if you haven't, again, make sure you go follow Yuri's work at Yaku Cosmopolitan. I've learned so much about NPB baseball over the past couple of months, and he's been a big part of it as well. And appreciate Mailman Jack and Ryan for hanging out with us. I think if you want to scroll up just a little bit, I did see Mailman Jack mention Milanos. Need some Milanos. Folks, again, if you are looking for some beautiful pizza pie on the south side, drive over to Western Ave, 107th place in Western Ave. Go get yourself a Milano's pizza. Go get the party size, all right? Ask for a regular crust. I think they say thin. I don't know. I'm always confused on the phone. I end up getting the same thing always. So, I don't know if I'm ordering a regular or thin, but I order pepperoni and onion. I like it well done. The wife doesn't. I like it well done. You should get it well done. It's fantastic. A great pie. The best pie probably out there. A lot of people talk about Vito and Nick's. It's fine. All right. Milano's is where it's at. All right. Trey in the chat saying, I think we all as fans have to not overreact if he struggles in March/April. Might take him a bit to adjust. And then does he have a follow-up there? Obviously, a lot of us who watch like this aren't going to overreact, but the casuals will. So just ignore them. Honestly, do your best to ignore people that are overreacting about Munetaka Murakami in March and April. I mean, even Yuri said it. The guy won a triple crown in an entire month of September. He was sub 200 average with 6 homers. So if he, out of his first month, is 194, 260, it's probably gonna be ugly, 360, right, with 6 homers, not the end of the world. Again, he's got 2 years to make this work. He's getting 1,000 plate appearances from the White Sox to make it work. So even if he doesn't work out in the first 250 or whatever, we are going to watch hopefully 1,000 plate appearances from Munetaka Murakami. And if we don't watch 1,000 to 12,000, it's because he was so damn good they traded him. Like, you know, I'm so excited for him, and the fact that Yuri was like, he can hit 50. I'm like, all right, let's go. You know what? Hey, Nick Kurtz struck out a ton. Nick Kurtz wasn't walking a ton. He just swung and he just hit like 45 homers. Like, really, all that Murakami needs to do is have 45 really nice swings.
It will be really fun if Murakami like takes Jack Flaherty deep and Flaherty's like spitting like every expletive he possibly can on the mound while Murakami takes him like 430.
You know,
I'm just already dreaming about warmer weather and those days. You know what I mean?
You're just dreaming of opening day where it's, 19 degrees and the winds are whipping. Well, it's probably 42 degrees. And it's definitely partly cloudy. If it's
May
a White Sox
14th.
opening day, there's some clouds in the sky.
Maybe May 22nd.
Yeah. Well, they open on the road, right? I think they open in Milwaukee, which we have to talk to Jake about, because we should be there. There's no reason why we should not hassle the people from the Milwaukee Brewers to let us in to cover Munetaka Murakami's debut, right?
We're putting you in bubble wrap when you go into that park. You do understand that, right?
Yeah, well, no, I get it. Bragg's got killed at AmFam. But yeah,
Still
no,
true.
I'll take the stairs.
Yeah.
but
Good corn dogs there, though.
They
I like
open
the
in
corn dogs
Milwaukee. You want to go to Miami? Miami sounds nice. And then Thursday, April 2nd, they play Toronto for the opener. How about this?
Wow.
How about this? Just thought of this.
Okamoto versus Murakami. Get ready.
You thought Okamoto? Okay.
What did you think?
I thought the $210 million player that used to play for the Chicago White Sox and Dylan Cease. Maybe, just maybe, there is a way that he ends up playing against the Chicago White Sox, and I would die for Dylan to throw one of those nasty ass changeups at like 70 miles per hour and Murakami hits it to the moon.
Yes.
Oh,
That's
like,
pretty
come
good
on,
one.
Let a boy dream.
Maybe future White Sox
You don't
Alejandro
like it?
Kirk.
I could who? Alejandro Kirk?
Yeah, why not? Why not?
You don't like me thinking of Dylan Cease, huh?
Oh, I just didn't know. Well, I like that one. I like that one. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't know. It's been several teams now. This is like a couple teams removed. I guess now him being back in the American League is fun.
But he's a sock.
Yeah.
He cut his teeth with the White Sox. No one's going to remember, San Diego Padre Dylan Cease. He's going to overtake it with the Toronto Blue Jays. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
If he's going to be remembered for a team, it's because he'll be remembered for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, that's fair. I think so. And
threw a no-hitter here.
Yeah, I mean Murakami taking Dylan Cease deep would be pretty. That'd be pretty sweet.
The one thing that I didn't bring up: can Murakami best the homer record, longest homer in Statcast era? So the only made up numbers we can technically get is Yermin Mercedes 485 off that bum Brad Keller in the rain. Next up is Robert at 470, and then Aloy at 468, where he took Patrick Corbin deep to center at the Jim Thome spot. Like, can he pass Yermin Mercedes?
We don't acknowledge the Joe Borchard law.
Well, again, that's pre-Statcast.
No, I know. That's
so we don't acknowledge the Thome shot that went dead center. We don't acknowledge the Borchard shot. We obviously we're not playing in Comiskey anymore. So what's the All-Star Game shot? Right? Wasn't there one that hit the roof, like a legendary homer?
Oh yeah.
I think that was, or is it just Babe Ruth hitting a 33 homer? Whatever. But yeah. Anyways, Murakami's going to take down Cease deep on April 2nd. They open Brewer, Marlins, Blue Jays, Orioles. I'm in 4 in New Kansas City. We get to see Kansas City pretty early. The new Kaufman.
That's not a bad schedule to open up the year.
Well,
I get it. There's some playoff teams in there, but again, early on in the year, you get Toronto outdoors. You go to Miami, which is nice for our young hitters, just playing a little bit of some warm weather off the jump.
Marlins suck.
Marlins aren't very good.
I know they almost went 81-81, but whatever.
Yeah, dude,
Marlins suck.
I was watching a bunch of Edward Cabrera videos, and the Marlins are just so geeked on being 81-81. I was like, well, as a Sox fan, I don't blame you.
You get to
I'm
face
into it.
Sandy early in the season when his arm is not ready.
Yeah, early Sandy.
Alcantara will tick up in September. Anyways, you're not here for that. But yeah, pretty fairly easy opening. Milwaukee, Miami, Toronto, Baltimore, Kansas City, Tampa, Las Vegas / Oakland / Sacramento, Arizona, Washington Nationals, Angels. Like that's a pretty easy April.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, because I'm just dreaming like the best case scenario for this Sox team and trying to do it in a measured and reasonable way is if they're like hovering-ish around 500 after 30, 40 games. Like they're like 15 and 18, or you know what I mean? And the weather's really nice and it's May, and all of a sudden like a series coming up on the weekend early on in the year, I get it, but it kind of like has a little juice to it. That's what I'm kind of like thinking is a measured good scenario for the Sox.
I mean, you could flip it. Just say 18 and 15. Why not?
Sure.
I mean, the best case scenario is that the offense wins those games, right? Because I don't see a scenario where it's like Sean Burke, ace of the staff, has just pitched 4 straight complete game shutouts. You know, like it's going to be Colson Montgomery has 10 homers in his first 10 swings, and I'm drooling. A pool, like an in-ground pool's worth of saliva. Murakami is 15 homers.
Yeah, they're having a trot off between Murakami and Colson, and they're
right?
doing like check marks in the dugout of home runs. Like, you're up now.
Luis Robert Jr. has grown a third arm. Like we are excited. Anyways, God damn it.
You got excited there.
Well, no, because I just realized what I was going to transition to, and it's not like.
Why don't we take a break and then we can come back and then
why don't we take a break
and we'll transition.
If you have any thoughts, let us know in the chat. Hit the thumbs up button and make sure you subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. I am going to compose myself, and we will remember the life of Wilbur Wood after the break. We want to let you know about our friends over at Huel. I talk to a lot of people who work out, and they're always mentioning protein. So it seems very, very important. And Huel wants to help you with consistency in 2026. It's a new year. Maybe it's a new you, and you have to be consistent this year. Fuel is going to allow you to reach those protein goals that are so important when you are trying to reach the best you possible. The ready-to-drink protein drink that I have here is the Emergency High Protein Complete Meal. We also have a powder that they offer. It's the controlled, customizable high protein complete meal, and you can pair both of those together so you're never falling off your routine. You're consistently getting the protein that you need. Both products, the ready to drink is 35 grams of protein. The powder is 40 grams. You get 27 essential vitamins and minerals. It's gluten-free. There's no artificial sweeteners, colors, or flavors, and it's under $5 a meal. Hitting protein goals is easier when the default choice is healthy and easy like Huel. And with their limited time offer, you can get Huel's high protein starter kit today with our exclusive offer, 20% offline with our code White Sox 20 at Huel.com/White Sox 20. That's new customers only. And honestly, it makes hitting your protein goals a lot easier. Head over to Huel.com/White Sox 20. We also want to let you know about our friends over at Ray Chevy. Our friends over at Ray Chevy on Route 12 are making it very easy for this year for you to step into the car of your dreams. They're ringing in the new year at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake with hot deals all month long during their Ray Resolution sales event. Stop in today and drive home with 0% financing for 72 months, plus no payments until spring on all new Chevrolet models. Or check out their selection of over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. With one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories, you'll be sure to find the perfect vehicle for you. And as one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, they're able to keep their prices competitive, so you'll know you'll get a great deal. Plus, with Ray's Price Promise, you could shop confidently because the price you see is the price you pay. So go see for yourself. Visit our partner at their convenient location right now on Route 12 in Fox Lake, and don't miss out on their Ray Resolution sales event going on all month long. Shop Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or at raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Together, let's drive. We're back on the CHGO White Sox podcast. Hit that thumbs up button and make sure you're subscribing to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Before I start getting off track, let's focus on the topic. At 84 years old, Wilbur Wood has passed away. He lived from 1941 to 2026. He debuted at 19 years old for his hometown Boston Red Sox. He was pretty much R.A. Dickey before R.A. Dickey. He was throwing a fastball and curveball before he got to the White Sox, and he got to the White Sox, and he was always messing around with a knuckleball, and he met Hoyt Wilhelm, who was a White Sox at the time, famous knuckleballer, and he asked Hoyt, how do I do it? How do I throw the thing? And that's where he ended up learning the pitch from, was Hoyt Wilhelm, and really honing in that pitch. And Hoyt told him, you either throw the knuckleball all the time or not at all. This is not a pitch that you peck pepper in. This is not a secondary pitch. This is your pitch. So Wilbur Wood embraced the knuckleball, and from 1967 to 1974, he put up 46.5 B-WAR. He had a 2.76 ERA, and get this, Joey, this is not a typo. He pitched 1,886 innings
in one game.
In one game, 3 top 5 Cy Young finishes, 2 top 10 MVP finishes, and most importantly, the thing that like really stuck out to me is, it didn't stick out too much for you, Sean. Here it is. Wood's season in 1971. Oh, sorry, no, which year is that? Come on, Sean. You did all your research, and what did you do it for? Wilbur Wood in 1971. Yes. Was his best year. He put up 11.7 B-WAR, and this is from Saber. That is the 5th best season in Major League history after 1920. Roger Clemens's 1977 was better at 11.6. Steve Carlton's 11.7 in 1972 was better, and Dwight Gooden in 11.9 WAR in 1985. Sorry, so he was 4th.
Those are some famous seasons. Those are some famous seasons, Sean.
He was at 11.5 WAR. I don't know what I said. I think I said 11.7. But yeah, pretty good seasons. Clemens in 97, Carlton the next year in 72, and then Gooden in 85. I don't know what did Scooble put up this year. Because Scooble had like a pretty damn good year this year. Scooble was only 6.5. So it kind of tells you right there, just like how good Wilbur Wood was. And mainly the thing was he was eating a ton of innings. He threw in 1972, not the year that he was fantastic, 376 innings. That was the second most since, I had it written down. It's the White Sox guy. Ed
Farmer?
Not Ed Farmer. He's on the team for next year. Sean. Ed
Ogeron?
No, Joey. Why? Oh my God. Is this a joke? Ed. We're just gonna say Ed.
Yeah, it's Ed.
Ed. Okay, great notes, Sean. Anyways, he started 800. He started 181 games in a 4-year span, and he again ditched his windup, I think in 1972, to just kind of make it a step and throw, which then allowed him to throw his fastball. So if he wanted to like sneak it by guys, he could just like really just step and fire it. So he was able to pitch past him. It's not Steve Stone. And then this is the main thing that I wanted to pick up from Sabres. Sox had a dismal staff in 1970. Tommy John went 12-17 with a 3.27 ERA. Jerry Janeski went 10-17 with a 4.77 ERA, and Joe Horlan went 6-16 with a 4.86 ERA. They were the only pitchers to make 20 starts for the White Sox. And Chuck Tanner, who just became the manager, wanted to make Wood a starter. Royland Hemond, begged the Angels to take Wood, and they didn't. And then Horlan ends up breaking his leg, forcing the White Sox to make Wood a starter. And then he goes on this absolute absurd run. And the thing that really defined him was his ability to just eat innings and just throw and throw and throw and throw and throw. I closed out of my Sabre article, which is really helpful for myself. And I lost the point that I wanted to make. Great. Ed Walsh. That was it. But in a 4-year span from 1971, he pitched more than anyone since the dead ball era, and his statistics appear as though from a video game. He won at least 20 games each season, leading the AL with 24 wins in 1972 and 1973, and his 90 wins were the most in baseball, 2 more than Catfish Hunter. He logged 1,390 innings, averaging 384 per year. In 1972, a shortened season by the players, he logged that 376 and 2/3 innings, 2/3 innings more than Mickey Lolich's previous season, and the most in the AL since Ed Walsh's 393 in 1912. And he started 49 times, tying Walsh's record in 1908, and the most since Jack Cheshborough's 51 for the Yankees in 1904. With the ability to start frequently, sports writers predicted that Wood would win 30 games. He did not win 30 games. He hit 24 twice, but never 30. And the other thing, too, that stuck out to me was his ability to just pitch on pretty much no rest. 2 days, he would then pitch, and then 3 days rest, he would go pitch. And he literally said, I'm not even tired. Like, They had a 3-man rotation with Wilbur Wood. That's how frequently he was pitching. The White Sox would die for a Wilbur Wood. If their rotation right now was Shane Smith, Sean Burke, and Wilbur Wood, this team would win 90 games because Wilbur Wood is that damn good. But no, just an absolute legend, as Trey Williams is saying. It was Ed Walsh, so my bad for fumbling there. But when you're a guy that is touching 1912 records, that, since no one's thrown 393 innings since, the fact that Wood was able to reach such remarkable heights is absolutely insane. And he is a White Sox legend. His true best years and his best time as a player were with the White Sox, undoubtedly. 91 innings pitched with Boston, negative .4 WAR with Pittsburgh, 68 and 2/3 innings pitched, .8 WAR with 2,500 innings pitched with the White Sox, 51.7 B WAR. Wilbur Wood, tip of the cap to you. You were a fantastic White Sox, and you lived a fantastic life. So congratulations on your life. I don't know how to talk about dead people. Like that sucks. I mean, 84 frankly, is a very long life, though. It's longer than the average male lifespan. So, long,
I'll take it.
Great life there from Will.
And also, I'll tell you too. Like when you read off those stats and you see what kind of a legend he was in the White Sox uniform, kind of makes you think we should bring the name Wilbur back.
I think so too. And I just learned this. Joey, do you know his full name?
Like what his middle name is?
Yeah.
Ooh, Wilbur Mahogany Wood.
It's kind of Wilbur Forrester Wood.
Sandalwood. Forrester?
Forrester. The guy's name was Wilbur Forrest Wood.
Yes.
Forrest Wood.
That's my pick to click.
Should have just went by Forrest Wood. But yeah, shout out to 3-time All-Star Wilbur Wood.
Me and all the employees down at Milano's are going with Wilbur Wood. We'll
Trey Williams saying, you think Dylan Cease threw 393 innings the way people talked about his durability. No, he can't get through 5. He can throw you 98 innings or 98 pitches in 5 innings, but he can't show you the 6th inning. I love Dylan, and I always felt like, as I believe with every player, this year's going to be the year. And with Dylan, especially after he's writing poetry about a slider, I'm like, oh, this guy's more locked in than anyone. And it's been kind of ass since they traded him. Not really like the Dylan Cease and love. I still believe in him, and I still think that he deserved $200 million. So I'm glad that Toronto gave it to him. But yeah, he's not really a workhorse.
Is it mean to say Dylan Cease is kind of in the Jay Cutler realm of athletes that truly have a lot of natural God-given gifts and have had some success in their career, but have not necessarily reached the heights of the expectation that we have had for them?
Maybe because
he was second with the Cy Young. Yeah.
The person that I was going to say was like Kopech, because like that's a player that I really can't tell if they're like locked in ever, and that would be more comparable to Cutler. Where
that's close.
I think Dylan's locked in. He's just like, he doesn't have anything that's great. He doesn't have like a great fastball. He has a really good fastball. He doesn't have a great slider. He has a really good slider. And that's why now his slider really can't carry him. He doesn't have a great sweeper. He has a pretty decent sweeper. He doesn't have a great curveball, but he has a good curveball.
Yeah, the count is 0-2, and the guy keeps fouling off his pitches, and Dylan can't put him away. And he needs like 9 or 10 pitches to get out, the 7-hitter.
He's got 4 great pitches or 4 good pitches. And then he's got, and the real one thing that he needs is a changeup. And he's got this like goofy changeup that he can't actually throw as a pitch. Like just this like lollipop 69-mile-per-hour changeup. Like if he had a real changeup, I wonder how much that would define his career. But he has not been able to find it. So it's such a weird player. But
kick change. Sounds like kick change city.
But he's tried. He's tried every damn changeup grip out there. And I just don't know how he throws it so slow. It's like, just take the Edward Cabrera and throw like 98-mile-per-hour changeups. Real quick on Wood, too. Looking this up. Since 1971, there has been 3 times somebody's pitched over 350. It's Wood twice, and then Mickey Lolich again in December, or with Detroit in 1971. But like, who's the most recent on this list? Like, the last person to go over 300 innings was Steve Carlton in 1980.
I was going to guess Nolan, but I don't even know if Nolan ever did that.
Nolan?
No, I'm sure he did it. Probably with the Mets, yeah.
326 in 73, and then 74, 332, but he didn't do it after that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nolan was around like Nolan kind of looks like a today's pitcher, honestly. Like 299, no, that's not really that. That's also in 37 games. But yeah, I mean, 32 innings, 1989, He's 42 years old, 32 game start.
Oh, dude.
239
Are you
innings.
looking at Nolan Ryan's stats right now?
Oh, that's crazy.
They're mind-blowing.
It truly is. You know who's not mind-blowing when it comes to stats? Ryan Borucki, new White Sox. Ryan Borucki is signed with the Chicago White Sox.
Yes.
Minor league deal, so it is an invite to big league camp. He's not a 40-man roster player, so we don't have to worry about adding him to the current mesh of lefties, whether it be Tyler Gilbert, Chris Martin, not the lead singer of Coldplay, but other Chris Martin. I'm blanking on the other guy, the lefty that they have. Brian Hudson, who's the highest rated White Sox currently in MLB The Show, 26. Borucki's added that. He's 6'4", 210. Borucki is from Mundelein, so Mundelein High School. Shout out to him. Local product. We love a local product. He's had some decent years in the past. 2018 was his rookie year. 19 games started, 97 and 2/3 innings pitched, 1.5 WAR. Hasn't been used as a starter since, though, and his best year since 2023, 40 1/3 innings pitched, 2.45 ERA with a 1.4 BWAR. I don't love him. When you look at his stuff plus and you go to tjstats.ca and you look at his slider, his sinker, he's got a pretty low arm angle at 28 degrees. The changeup's weird. If you look at the true plot of the changeup, there's a couple that are at the bottom of the orange circle that are like really interesting. The fact that he can get a ton of depth at that low of an arm angle, like, is that something that they're trying to chase with him? But even then, like, the changeup wasn't really that big of a pitch when he was having success in 2013 or 2023. It's more of an added pitch recently. The slider was okay back then. The sinker again was like okay. The sweeper was okay. And you look at his numbers too, like 2.45 ERA, 0.74 WHIP. A fairly absurd run where he had a 21.7 K percent. Joe, you want to guess his walk percent? 2.6.
Oh, wow, that's great.
That's pretty absurd.
Holy cow.
Yeah, really hasn't been able to replicate that type of control. That's 4 walks to 33 strikeouts. The past year, 27 strikeouts to 12 walks. The year before that, 32 strikeouts to 16 walks. So, if he's able to tap into 33 strikeouts and 4 walks, yeah, it's a great signing. I don't know if he's a guy that really wows me, though. I'm more interested in Hudson. I'm more interested in Chris Martin. I'm more interested in maybe not Gilbert, because Borucki's a little bit bigger, but not super interesting of an arm. So if you're wondering, like, is Ryan Borucki going to change the White Sox season? I hate to break it to you, no. He's just another guy. As Ryan says, he's just an arm, nothing more. Are you playing Hawk Harrelson?
You asked the question, and Hawk answered.
Oh, what did I say?
You said, is Ryan Borucki going to change the White Sox season?
Jeez. And Gen Dog comes in. Appreciate Gen Dog. Joey, you want to flash the comments on the screen? Yeah, Gen Dog recently commented about white on white and that you can't see the comments on the screen. And Gen Dog's right. So shout out to Gen Dog.
I didn't do that this time. My bad.
No, you're good. I just remembered that Gen Dog is a truth teller.
And we liked it. We changed it for a show I did with you last week, and it looked good.
Yeah, it looked good.
The black character title.
So shout out to Gen Dog. But yeah, he once started both games of a doubleheader. Wood was just absolutely absurd. There was one stat too that he started or finished a game that was delayed in the 17th inning. He picked it up, pitched 5 innings, and then 2 days later he threw 9 innings. And threw a complete game shutout. So they finished a 21-inning game. They needed somebody. They pitched Wood 2 days later. And he threw 9 innings of complete shutout ball. Absolute legend, as you're saying. But yeah, absurd life for Wilbur Wood. I'm trying to look that up and see what I can find. But we should just end the show. And I don't need to do this anymore. Waste your time. That's going to be it for the CHGO White Sox podcast. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. Thank you to Yuri Karasawa for joining us from Yaku Cosmopolitan. He against the Yankees. July 20th, 1973, Wilbur Wood starts and loses both heads of a doubleheader against the Yankees. So there you go, Gen Dog. July 20th, 1973. He's the only pitcher to ever pitch both of a twin bill. But thank you. Yeah, true. Yuri, thank you for joining us over from Yaku Cosmopolitan. Thank you to everyone hanging out with us in the chat. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure to subscribe to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel. Thank you to Joey for producing the show. We'll be back tomorrow at 4:30. And goodbye.
We all silly like the mayor.